We are broadcasting. Let me go ahead and rearrange. It's just a little bit. I don't have my okay. There we go. I don't have my super fancy tripod, so I'm making do with what I have now. But it's so glad that you guys could come with us today. Happy National Crochet Month, and some people say Happy National Crafting Month. Whatever, I like to say Crochet Month. But the entire month of March, as you may have noticed on social media, is being celebrated. And I have something for the first three people in the chat, which is Lynn Guider, Wanda Gordon, and Red Hooked. So, you three ladies, if you would please send me an email, I have something for you. I want to send you, I hope you don't mind. We're already into 2023, but Annie's, thank you, Annie's. Thank you for sending these to me. I requested if they had any extras, and they did send me a few. So I wanted to give away this crochet calendar. And they do have some of these, I think, still available at a discounted price on their site. I do have this. Well, let me show you a bigger picture. I do have a project in here. Let me find out what month it is. I think is it this month? Yes, it is. March. This is one of the throws that I did for them many, many years ago, and it has a matching pillow. So what's really cool about these calendars is each day of the month you have a special crochet project you can look at. For those of you who still use wall calendars, oh, this is gorgeous. I think this might be Catherine White's, but I'm not sure. Beautiful, beautiful pictures for your calendar. And at the very back of the book, you have the written patterns for all of the designs that show up on this 12-month calendar. So you three ladies, again, if you didn't hear me, the broadcast, I'm noticing that it's kind of doesn't look as great from where I'm sitting here now. But Lynn Guider, Wanda Gordon, and Red Hooked. If you ladies would just send me an email, and I can pop this in the mail to you later on today or early in the week, depending on when I get out to the mailbox there. So thank you guys for joining. I want to say hey to some more of you. To Jan, and it looks like Wanda says it's a cloudy, a Bahama, North Carolina. And Lynn says it's cloudy there too. Well, you know what? You guys need to come on down to South Carolina. It is beautiful today. I don't know if the sun's going to last, but we've got really nice sunshine. It's in the 70s, may go up to 80. See, I've got short sleeves. We're into summer. I went from winter to summer, and I am, well, it's actually kind of spring. Everything is coated in that pine yellow pollen. It's interesting. Even we saw in the news this week, my mother-in-law likes to watch the news and likes to get the local weather. And they showed this. It looked like, you know how an oil slick would look on the ocean? Well, we have pollen slicks on the waves at Myrtle Beach right now. So not interested in going out in that right now, but we could really use some rain. But anyway, I am enjoying this nice weather down here. The daffodils are blooming, actually are a little bit past peak, and we're just waiting on the azaleas to pop open. They're getting close. Maybe within a week or two I can show you some beautiful pictures on my Facebook account with those. Sorry, Hannah, you might miss the peak season of that, but it won't make you sneeze as bad. So let me go ahead and say hey to more people. We have Jan in the chat. I want to wave back to Jan, and Red Hook says that they're in Northeast Ohio waiting for the storm to go through. Oh boy, well, stay safe, guys. I know there's a lot of really strange activity out there, but it is spring, in like a lion, out like a lamb. So I mean, nothing unusual really about that, but just do stay safe from all those storms that come on through. We have Francisca. Hey, Francisca from Chile, Minnesota, and thank you, ladies. I see you're taking care of each other, asking Jan about her friend's husband. Thank you for doing that. And Angie's good to see you in the chat. And Hannah, thank you for being there, sweetheart. I so appreciate you. And yes, Wanda says to Hannah, hope you're doing well. Yes, she's a blessing. Thank you. And Sandra, good to see you in the chat. And thank you guys for checking on my sweetheart daughter there. And Susanna from all the way from Australia. Wow. So in Australia, you're 16 hours or so ahead of me. So it's in the middle of the night. What are you doing watching from Australia? Thank you. I hope you're okay. I mean, that's up late. Wow. But thank you for being there, Susanna. I so love visiting your country back in 2018. I don't know if I'll ever get to go back again, but I sure hope I do. Um, Never thought I'd get there the first time, actually. Just kind of tagging along with my husband on a work trip. And let's see here. I'm trying to get this. I have the chat popped out today to see if this will work. It's just a little trickier. I have to apologize to some of you. I know Alana was in the chat early. I had to reset up this link for this live broadcast today 4 different times. I was having some technical problems here, and I have to tell you, it's kind of funny. Whenever they update things and make things look different technically, it always kind of throws me a bit. I don't know if you guys, ladies, experience that, but anyway, I had one of those mornings today, and then my phone wouldn't cooperate. It wouldn't let me broadcast didn't want to orientate properly. So no matter what I did, I would always check it out to make sure it's going to broadcast okay. And it kept going at a 90-degree angle opposite of what I was doing. So I know you all didn't want to watch the broadcast on your head the whole time. So I kept working with it, and it just wouldn't work. So I called my super gifted, incredibly brilliant husband, and he fixes it for me. And he does the classic, well, have you tried turning it off and turning it back on again? And I'm like, okay. So that's the first place to start. So in case you're having technical problems today, turn it off and then turn it back on again and see what happens. Turns out that worked. So anyway, I'm not sure why I'm sharing you. I know it's more of an apology too for those of you who tried getting into the chat 2 or 3 other times and nothing really happened. It started about 40 minutes before broadcast time, and I thank God that I was trying to set up a little early today so that I could kind of get this whole thing worked out. Turns out I just needed to reset that silly phone. And phone, I love you. Don't goof up on me. So anyway, let me make sure. Okay, I can't hear myself. I just wanted to make sure to do a little quick check that the mic was still working. Hey, Johnny's good to see you in the chat. Says, hi, Bonnie and buddies. I'm home today with COVID. No, Johnny, I hope you feel better. My goodness, I hope it's a very mild case. I hope you get over that quickly, my friend. I had it last summer, and it's nothing to. It's tough. It's tough, but I was thankful I got through it. But I hope you're feeling better really, really soon. And we have Elizabeth from southwestern Pennsylvania. Wow. Hello, neighbor. We're practically neighbors. Our states do abut when I'm at home in Maryland. But yeah, it's good to have a Pennsylvania person in there. I'll be traveling to Pennsylvania 2 times, hopefully this summer, for conference teaching. So really looking forward to that. It's always a beautiful drive, driving through the mountains. And let's see, I'm going to go backwards a little bit here. Judy. Hey, Judy. And she says, hope you are doing great. Yeah, feeling a lot better, you can see the tattoo that the needlework that my surgeon did. It's coming along. I need to get some aloe on that so that maybe the scar will diminish with time, but I'm not going to worry about it. Just another mark of the grace of God on my life. There's nothing wrong with that. And we have Swati in the chat. Hey, Swati, she says, happy Friday from a sunny LA. Finally. That's right. You guys have had storm after storm, snow and everything. She's hoping all are well. Thanks for all your prayers for my friend who is pregnant and just got diagnosed with breast cancer. Yes, I have been thinking of her. I hope she is doing well. And I hope they can, treat her and protect that precious life in her as well. And thank you guys for your response last week about Becky and and another new life or two that are on the way. I have two children we're basically expecting our first grandchildren sometime in August. So we're really, cautiously excited about that. And thank you all for your prayers. I told Becky, I said, you need to watch the chat from last week. You all are so kind with your words. And thank you for thinking of us as a family. Donella, good morning to you. And Kelly Dye, she said, still working on my Hills of Ireland throw. We are still friends, yay. Although I have learned my lesson to visually verify each row before moving on blissfully unaware. Kelly, I have done that so many times, whether I'm designing or doing something that I've already gotten the recording done and I know what to do and how to do it. And I will mindlessly just keep going and have to do some ripping out. Was doing some of that this week actually, but that's just but I'm glad we're still friends. And what she means by that is, sometimes you can lose your mind when you're learning things, especially if they're new things. And let me just say a word about that too. It's okay to make mistakes when you're learning something new. Okay, it's okay. I know it's painful to rip things out, but I think we learn our best when we do make mistakes and have to backtrack a little bit. I know people will hate me for saying that, but that's okay. But I do it all the time. I have probably ripped out. I'm probably the ripping out or the frogging queen here because the more you crochet, the more you do it. And when you're developing new designs and stuff, I have just ripped out entire projects multiple times just trying to get the sizing right. So I understand that, but I'm glad that's coming together, Kelly. That is actually quite a challenging project. Sometimes if you're doing something a little tricky or just that's going to challenge you, we can't just expect to be perfect all the time, right? And I know none of us do, but anyway. Although I do get, not from you guys, but from outside of this community, I do get comments from people sometimes. It's just like, oh my, I'm sorry you're having so much trouble, but this is an intermediate level and it's not, it's not for the faint of heart sometimes. Oh, thank you, Susanna. She says she likes the calendar. Yeah, I'm not yeah, these are great. I was trying to get these earlier in the year, but I just got them recently. So I had requested them a while back, but like I said, even if you don't get to look at all the pictures since we're into March, there are what 9, 10, if you count March, 10 months left, and you get these beautiful, beautiful 12. If I can get to it, oh my goodness, beautiful, beautiful. Written patterns in the back. I didn't even go through many of them. There's a lot of beautiful things in here. Let me see what else. Oh, look at this rug. I have to show this to you. Isn't this a beautiful crocheted rug with the loops and everything? Isn't that cool? Lots and lots of fun stuff in there. All right. I just don't want to ignore anybody this week if I can help it. Oh, let's see. Hold on a second. Hold on one second. I have my itinerary right over there. Let me go grab it. Okay. It's kind of like my list of what I want to cover this week. Oh, and I have to tell you, I as you know, I'm in South Carolina for a few weeks, and Hannah is back home, so we kind of swap out periodically, just to give folks a break. And I've had a really productive week. I didn't do any writing or anything per se, but I've done a lot of crocheting. And I have almost finished a brand new design. This is a surprise design. I'm going to show it to you. Let me show it to you right now. Well, before I do that, let me go ahead and show you what's coming on Monday. Monday, the Arrow poncho is coming out. I would wear it for you now, but it's warm down here, guys. And this You can see it's the arrow stitch, and I used those cakes of yarn that is self-striping, but honestly, I think this would look great in a solid color, or if you have a lot of stash yarn left. This is a worsted weight yarn. Um, so any number 4 yarn you could use, and you can just clean out your stash with this. And anyway, so that is coming on Monday to my YouTube channel right here. It's already available for my watch subscribers. So if any of you are interested in early access with complimentary written patterns and ad-free, spam-free broadcasting, I'm not broadcasting, videos. There are no commercials, and no one's going to bug you, and nobody tracks your information. Check out the watch channel. There's a link in the video description below. It's $6.95 a month or $69.50 for the year, which is a bit of a savings. There are a lot of patterns already available there. You can download. And so anyway, the Arrow Poncho is coming on Monday. The Celtic Star blanket that was released, I think, a week and a half ago, is there now. This is Celtic weave. I'll go ahead and show you. Celtic weave worked in the round. And I used that Red Heart Ombre, which is the very long self-striping yarn, which I think is really beautiful. But quite honestly, you can use any yarn on this. You can use any worsted weight. You can use DK weight. You can use number 2 sport weight. The real thin baby yarn if you want. You can use any kind that you want. It's just that it will yield, a thinner fabric, and which I think is fine for a baby blanket. So, and you can just continue this in the round until you get to the size that you want. It's really very easy to change the sizing on this. So you can make it as large or as small as you want, and the edging is very forgiving. You can work it around, pretty much any multiple. So it's very, very forgivable. So I hope you enjoy that one. It's a little bit tricky on the Celtic weave stitching. And even if you're used to the Celtic weave, make sure that you follow the directions on this one for how I'm working the corners and how I'm adding in the stitches. That can be a little bit tricky. But if you're okay with learning a new skill on doing that, I think you'll enjoy it. Once you get in the groove of it, it will just go. Oh, okay. And Dawn would like to know how she can order a calendar. Thank you for sending that to me, Hannah. I think you can still get them at Annie's. So if you go to annies.com and just do a search for crochet calendars, they may have sold out of them by now, but I'm not sure. But if you contact them, or if you just want to send me an email, I can check on that for you. Actually, let me do a quick check. Let me do a quick check on this right now so I can get an answer for you. Okay, they are on sale. Let me go ahead. Okay, so they have them for $8.99. Let me go ahead and I'm going to put the link. Okay, let's get rid of that. Let me put the link right here. Okay, and I will add that to the video description once the show ends. Okay, so I'll try to remember to add that to the description. Hope I can remember remember that. So I will give it my best shot. All right. So I've got a little distracted there on what's coming. I'll show you that new special thing in just a bit, but I want to continue to say hey to folks. I don't want to miss anybody. Oh, Michelle Morris is in the chat. Hey, Michelle, and Barbara, and she wants to know, what is everyone working on? That's a great question. I should just do a post in Facebook or even here. I wish we could post photos. I wonder if we could. I don't think we can post photos in the chat on YouTube. I really wish we could. Um, but I'll do that on Facebook this week just to find out where folks are and what they're working on. And yeah, let me keep on going down here. I know there's a lot of comments I'm missing. We have, is it Marliana? What a beautiful name. So glad that you could be here. And Elizabeth and oh, Judy from Braselton, Georgia. Hey, neighbor. We can say I'm neighbors since I'm just a state away from you up here or down here in South Carolina. And Donella, she said, says my Chihuahua still hasn't come out from under the blankets. Must be cold where you are. Oh, and Swati says, I have that calendar. I saw the pattern a few months ago, and even before I verified, I knew it was one of Bonnie's. Yeah, that was from a long time ago. Like, I think that pattern may be from 2011 or even 2000. I think 2011. It's been a while since I've designed that one for Annie's. That was long before I was even writing books. So we see Rebecca in the chat, and Catherine says it's cool here in Louisiana. Okay, so Hannah sent me, says Swati wants to know if the new surprise design is the one we've been chatting about. No, it's not that one, Swati. It's another one. It's something that came up kind of suddenly. That one is in the works. I'm still working on that one. I'm enjoying it. It will be coming, Swati, I promise. And when as I finish these, it's particularly the one, let me just go ahead and show you. I just don't want to get too far behind. I have not finished this yet, but this is made with yarn that I am going to review. Okay, thank you, Hannah, for those questions. Yeah, so that one that you're talking about, Swati, the one that Swati is talking about is one that I'm doing with mohair, with a mohair silk blend, which is so much fun to crochet, but you really have to know the pattern because ripping it out is painful. It's almost impossible, actually. But that one will be coming soon. And as I complete these, I'm going to try to give as much as possible. Of course, it's contingent on getting them back from the person that is my editor, and I have a couple of people helping me with some of that. But I'm hoping to rush this one out for St. Patrick's Day because it's made with yarn from Ireland. It's 100% Irish wool, and I will say that it reminded me of being in Ireland and of a lot of the yarn that I did bring back when I was in Ireland. And I will say this, it's not the softest stuff you'll ever find. In fact, I wouldn't even use the word soft in describing this yarn. I would use the word rustic. But I think it's going to outlast a lot of other designs because it's not going to fuzz up and pill up like softer yarns tend to do. Okay, are you ready? This is brand new. It's not even finished yet. I generally don't show designs this early, but I want to get you ready because this is March and St. Patrick's Day is coming. And this is a brand new cable for me. It's a bigger, bolder cable. Okay, look what we have here. Okay, simple in design, but this is going to be a super scarf. And I really have loved working with this yarn. It's not the kind of yarn that you put up against a baby's skin. It's not super soft. I think it's going to be very durable. And this is just a very, you can see from the side, very big cable. It's a new cable design that I was fooling around with this week, and it's like, I want this bigger, but I want it to work. I want it to pop. And I was inspired by looking at some knitting cables. And I'm like, why can't we do that with crochet? And the answer is we can. It's going to look like it's crocheted, but anyway, so this is very, very long. This is going to be a very big scarf, okay? Like you can wear it as a stole and the other end is still being worked on, but it can be a nice stole. It can be a super scarf. You just wear a huge scarf. So I'm hoping to get this out. It's my goal to get this out in time for St. Patrick's Day. Again, I'm gonna post this in my watch channel as soon as I get it. I haven't even edited I haven't even finished filming it yet. But I told my sister and my tech editors, like, get ready because it's a coming, and I want it to be turned around quickly so that we can have this out to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. Okay, so super scarf or stole is a coming, and again, you guys are the first to see this, and I'm just excited about this braid because it's a different way of doing the braided cable. It's 5 stitches wide, or it's actually 17 stitches wide, but it's 5 stitches for each of those columns that are woven together. And it is a little bit tricky. It's an intermediate stitch, but if you can handle the other cabling, this is very similar, except that there are some differences, and you'll see those in the video. So thanks for being excited for me on this one. It is purposefully simplified. I didn't want it to be all cluttered with stuff. I do have a design that has a lot more of that coming out too. And again, you guys on my watch channel will be the very first to get that. But thank you, Swati, for that question. I am working on that as well. And I actually got 4 projects that I'm working on. I've got 4 things in the works in my bags, in addition to the other stuff that is lined up in the docket. So let's see. Tony wants to know, do you have easy crochet patterns for blankets? I have 15 grandkids and we are wanting to make all blankets. I could really use some easy patterns. Thank you so much. I do have some. You can go to my, and this is, for everybody, if you ever want to look for something by category, like a hat or a scarf or whatever, if you go to my playlist, Tony, I would suggest first checking the Easy Beginner playlist to see if there's anything in there. I know that there is a Ripple Granny Square blanket that works up super fast, and it's kind of like I don't know if you call it boho or just, it's kind of like a flashback traditional kind of a design, but with a little bit of a twist. And you can change up the colors on these and make them look as modern as you want, I think. But I have no problem with the classic looks either. I love classic crochet. So, and if you don't see something there, another thing you can do is check out the baby blankets. Even though they are listed as baby blankets, you can make them wider and make any of those easy repeat designs into full size blankets just by adding a particular multiple to the original starting chain and just making it wider and longer. It's most of those in the book here, there's a book I have, a collection, Easy Beginner Baby Blankets to Crochet. But all of those are also on my YouTube channel. So just look at the playlist and look for Easy Beginner Baby Blankets. And again, you can make any of those into easy repeat blankets as well. I do have it in mind to come out with a new one this summer, but again, that's still in the works and that's not going to help you right now. Another channel you could check out if you are looking for those kinds of easy beginner blankets is check out Daisy Farm Crafts, I think is their name. She's a friend of mine, a delightful lady, and her daughter. They design a lot of easier to crochet things that are just beautiful. So check them out and tell them Bonnie said hey. Okay, I don't have any problems referring to other folks like that. Oh, thank you, Swati. She says she got permission from Emily of Lamb Shop Kits. Thank you for the reminder. I wanted to say something. Emily of Lamb Shop Kits is having a live sale today. I believe that's on Facebook. If for those of you who are on Facebook, it's through I think it's through WAFA, which is Wool and Fiber Association, or Wool and Fiber Arts, or something like that, WAFA. So if you go to Facebook and look for Lamb Shop Kits, you can find her there. She has a bunch of high end, or I should say natural fiber kind of yarns, and she is having a big sale. And some of the yarns that we've even used in some of the designs that have appeared on this channel, I think will be there. Like the wave blanket with the multi 8 different shades of blue, which the yarn is fantastic. So if you get a chance to check that out, so thank you again, Swati, for that reminder. And Kelly Dye says, I'm making the Abigail. Okay, Emily says it's a private sale. Okay, so I'm not sure what that means exactly, but I think if you go to Facebook, I think you can find her. And Emily, if you want to put the link in the chat, that's fine with me. You're free to do that. Let's see. Kelly Dye says, I'm making the Abigail shawl next, but it's the first time I will be using a non-acrylic fiber. Is the blocking process the same? Any tips on how to block superwash, merino, nylon, or mohair silk blend? Kelly, I can tell you a very easy way to do it, and this is pretty much all that I've done, and that is to wet block. You don't even have to soak the item. Like, you don't have to dunk it in water or anything. I like to spread it out. Excuse me. I like to spread it out on my blocking mats, and I like to pin it into place. And you may want to just spray it. You can either do this before or after. It depends on, the design and how you want to do it. But you can spray it lightly. Just get one of those empty plastic spray bottles and spray it down lightly with water until it's damp, and then pin it into place and let it dry overnight. It's simple. For other, some people like to actually soak the item. I don't, because I think that tends to, when you're squeezing it and squishing it and stuff, I don't like to do that. In fact, if you're going to get the excess water out of anything, it's best to just kind of roll it into a dry towel, like in a big roll, and then just damp or press lightly on it. You don't ever want to wring. I know it goes without saying, but there's a lot that I've learned with washing things. But so all I have to say is when you wet block, you can just spread it out, spray it lightly with water, and just let it dry. And I think that should do it. It does wonders for mohair. It's so simple. You would think it wouldn't make that much difference, but it really, really does. It's worth the time. And if you're looking for these special pins, I don't have them with me. They're like combs. They're like the size of those, those combs that women used to put in their hair. But they're combs, but they're pins, and the pins they're rust resistant, and the pins, you just pin them where you want them to go. And I have different size combs. So some are about this wide, and some are about this wide, about 4 fingers wide. And those have been great for blocking wool afghans and my shawls, anything that needs blocking. Okay, thank you, Swati. She wants to know where she could get the yarn. Now, Swati, when I tell you about this yarn is not soft. Okay, this is not soft yarn. But this comes from Universal. It's a new line of yarns, and I don't have do I have the thing with me? I should. Here we go. Ta-da. This is called Yarn Vibes. It's a little confusing because it says 100% Irish wool, but then on the fine print, okay, no, this is right. It says 60% natural Irish fleece from sheep raised on Irish farms and 40% from New Zealand farms. So, but then it says 100% Irish wool. But anyway, but I think it was all processed and made in Ireland. It was made in Ireland in one of the last factories that that is in operation there. I forget the name of the place, but it is from Ireland. And it's called, here, let me show you this, Cliffs of Moher. And I don't know, for those of you who've never been to Ireland, the Cliffs of Moher are on the southwest side of the island, and just adjacent or just opposite of the Cliffs of Moher. When you get in a boat and go away, you kind of go south there, southwest, and that's where you find the Aran Isles, which is the inspiration to a lot of the work that I do. I'm just still amazed that I got to go there. Again, I tagged along with my husband on a business trip, and he surprised me and added a few days going to that side of the island and going out on the in the Pacific. No, the Atlantic, the cold Atlantic, and and visiting. And we spent a day on Inisheer Island. Didn't get to see the other islands, but we did get to see the one island, which was fantastic. Very rustic, like I say, very rustic. And but anyway, so yeah, so this is Yarn Vibes by Universal Yarns, and I'll have all that information coming to you. But feel free to use whatever worsted weight yarn that you have when this comes out. But I was, to be honest with you, here's another ball of it. When I saw the color, I saw this online in an advertisement by my friends at Universal Yarn, and I saw this color and I just had to have it. I said, no, I want that color. I want, send it to me now, please. And they were able to gather some up for me, and they actually sent me some yarn to be evaluated. And there's quite a beautiful natural palette of colors that this comes in, including some twisted yarns. And I'm getting ahead of myself because I'm going to come out with a video that just talks about this alone, and hope to get that out in the next couple weeks or so. So anyway, I'm getting so far behind, but you guys know me, and thank you for being patient about that. So I answered the question for Kelly. And thank you again, Swati, for the prompt about the yarn. I totally missed that. And Hannah, you're doing a great job with all these questions. Okay. And Johnny says, okay, getting back to Johnny with the COVID thing here. Says it's not too bad. Hope you're doing well. That's good news, Johnny. I hope that it is a pretty mild case. I know mine was, but again, it still kicked me in the hind quarters. But yeah, I was just very, very, very happy that it wasn't worse. I know many of you suffered terribly with that during that pandemic. We have Dawn Anderson from Yankton, South Dakota. She says, it's a beautiful day out today, but I'm sitting with my puppy watching. Oh, that's so sweet. I'm so glad it's not too bad there. I know South Dakota, North Dakota, I know you guys get a lot of bad winter weather sometimes. And oh, Lynn, so good to see you. You are so welcome. I'm just seeing your comment. I'm jumping around here. And Lori, so good to have you. Lori Hobson. And Catherine says it's cool here in Louisiana. I don't think I'm repeating myself there. And let's see. And Rebecca, yeah, I love the name Rebecca. It's the name of my first child, and I love the name Hannah too. Anyway, and let's see. I don't know did I say hi to Judy yet? I think I did, but I'll say it again. Hi, Judy. I'm a little behind here. All right. And thank you guys for the way you take care of each other in this chat. Wanda praying for Swati. Thank you. Or praying for Swati's friend. Thank you so much, Wanda. And Elizabeth Gorby, so good to have you in our chat. And oh my goodness, we have somebody from Libya. Thank you for being here. I'm sorry that I am not smart enough to read your comment, but I will check that out afterwards. But thank you so much. We weren't that far from you. when we were in the Mediterranean, Turkey, uh, Cyprus region back in the fall. Loved visiting you guys over there. Would love to visit more. And thank you for taking care of Johnny, Denise. You're so sweet. And let's see. And Jacqueline says, from sunny California, after some rainy and snowy weather, we even had a tornado. Welcome to the South, Jacqueline. Oh my goodness. I hope everything is okay with that. Yeah, it's been some kind of crazy weather, huh? That's what we deal with in the South. Just about every year this time, from March onwards, whenever those big air masses collide. And we have, is it Vert Kippa from Sweden? I know I probably mispronounced that, but you are so welcome here. So glad that you're watching from all the way from Sweden. Wow. And Beach Girl, she says, feeling better. Hey. Yes, ma'am. Yes, thank you. Feeling much better, getting some rest, hanging out with Mrs. B and enjoying it. So yeah. And getting a lot more. Let me see. Let me look at my agenda here. Did I show you everything I wanted to show you? Yeah, for the most part I did. So let me get this ready for a little bit later. But yeah. This is the big thing. I really wanted to make sure I showed you my scarf. I'm so excited about this. I have something else in the bag I could show you, but I'm gonna wait. But I am excited about a few things in here. Just need to give my hands a break every now and then. And Jan says, today is my great nephew's birthday. Wow. Colin is 1 today. Well, congratulations, Jan. Wow, a great aunt. How sweet is that? And we have Susie in our chat. And let's see. So I'm seeing these questions that I've already answered. Wow, Susanna says, I guess in regards to the green scarf, she said, I would use that as a table runner for a long dining table for St. Patrick's festivities. You know what, Susanna? Like a lot of my designs, you can make this, and let me tell you this real quick. You can make this in any size yarn you want. You all know that. I do like to feature certain yarns that I feel good about. I feel pretty good about this one, but as long as you understand that you're not getting this super soft yarn. It is rustic. It is original. It is from Ireland. It is okay. Just as long as you understand that, don't expect some baby soft fiber. It's not that. But as far as outer garments go, I think it's a good choice. It will last a long time. That's my take on this right now. But you can make this even in, okay, hear me out. You can even use sock weight yarn, like #1 weight yarn, to make this and make a nice scarf, just a regular scarf. You can even make it into an infinity scarf. You can take cotton thread and do this and make it into your table runner. Yeah, you can do that. Or even like even a #2 weight or a 3 weight cotton for that table runner. I didn't even think about that. That's a fantastic idea. But I have 2 books. I don't have them with me in the room, but I have 2 books written through Leisure Arts many years back actually, on super scarves. And that's one thing I've enjoyed doing with them. I like having a big scarf, but you can only really have so many of those in your wardrobe. But what I have actually done is I've taken one of the super scarf designs and I did use the sock weight, fingering weight yarn, and it came out really, really well. So it's just a matter of size, big or little. I mean, and both can be very beautiful. So, and feel free to do that. I mean, as long as it's not a fitted item, you're always welcome to experiment with that. And yeah, and with these scarves, you can just make them as long or as short as you want, just by increasing or decreasing the number of repeats that you do. So you guys are smart. You know how to do this. Okay. Emily, Emily's having trouble sharing her link. Um, Emily, can you send it to me? Can you email it to me and I can try to put it in the chat? I'll be on the lookout for your email. So I've got the email open if you can do that. BonnieBay@me.com. If you can send that to me now, um, I can take it and get that. And you three ladies who were winners this morning on these calendars, don't forget to email me your address so I can get this in the mail to you. Okay, um, Red Hooked, Wanda Gordon, and Lynn Guider. So don't forget. I'll be looking for your addresses. I don't keep them whenever I send you gifts or you win things or whatever. I don't hang on to those. I don't add them to list or anything like that. I'm very careful not to do that. Um, well, actually, I could try to look it up, Emily, but that's going to just take too much time on my end right now. So if you could just email that to me, I've got that open so I can look for it. Okay. Okay, I just got it. Let me see if this works. Let's see. Cross your fingers. Did that work? It did. Okay. So that's an easy link. Facebook.com/lamb shop kits. So check that out. And yay, we got it. So yeah, technology is a bittersweet thing. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. Trying to get my shirt to straighten out here. It's been a while since I've worn it. I think I was smaller the last time I wore it. Anyway, you know how that goes. And by the way, if you guys are looking for some fun crochet t-shirts that have fun sayings on them, I do have what do we call that? I do have a store. There's a link in the video description below. It's one of those t-shirt Teespring store. So I do have a lot of fun things if you're looking for just, something kind of fun to wear to, especially, well, I guess if you ordered it now, you probably wouldn't have it in time for National Crochet Month. But anyway, if you're looking to bless somebody, they're there. All right. Oh, thank you, Nancy. She says she likes the super scarf. I'm catching up here. And again, if I don't get to you, it's nothing personal. I promise. It's because I just didn't get to it, or anyway. Yeah, Teespring. Did I say that, Hannah? Yeah, Teespring. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, there is a link in the video description below. Pretty sure, or you can. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's there. Let me do this. I'll put the link in here as well. All right. Computer just went blank on me, but it's back. I think there's a gremlin in my technology. Okay, here's the I'm going to put it in the I'll put it in the chat right here. And again, no pressure on any of this stuff. This is just there in case people want. And just to let you know, I automatically, when I set that store up, I reduced the prices way down from the recommended price. Because I put it at about the price that I lowered it considerably, because I'm thinking, would I pay that price for that? No. And what would I be willing to pay? And that's basically where I set the price, so that I just scaled it way down. Just to let you know. Because I just wanted to make them mostly accessible. Didn't need to make a killing on anything. It's not my desire. So anyway, let me look and see if there's anybody new in the chat that I need to reach out to. I'm glad you guys like the scarf. And Lynn says, I want to learn that cable stitch. You will, Lynn. It's easy. Well, I shouldn't say that. If you understand the cabling system that I have been using for years with the big and bold cables, it's kind of a variation on that. It's not exactly like that. There is a little bit of a difference to it in the way the rows are worked and when you're crossing the cables. This one you actually cross the cables in the front side, on the front side facing, and then every 3 rows you cross them again, and you cross them on the front side, and then 3 rows later you cross them on the back side, cross them on the front side and the back side, and it's a 6-row repeat. So it's a little bit different, but I think you guys would get it. I don't know if you could tell, but it's getting dark here. It looks like the clouds are moving in. I depend mostly on natural sunlight coming in from the window when I'm not at home, because I can do that here to a certain extent. But I don't know if you noticed, but it's dimmed quite a bit. I may have to open the side window if it gets too dark. But looks like the storms are moving in. Okay, thank you, Hannah, for that comment. We have Susan from Chardon, Ohio. She says she loves the new scarf. Can't wait for it to come out. Well, thank you, Susan. I promise you, I'm going to do everything I can to get this out by St. Patrick's Day, and hopefully earlier in the chat, in the watch channel. And we have Linda Long from Ontario, Canada, and let's see. And we have a little conversation there amongst the Canadians. That's great. And then Linda Long in Kingston. Wow. And yeah, Emily, no problem. So glad. I'm glad Swati and Hannah are helping me to remember our conversation about your yarn sale. I do wish you all the best on that. And everybody can always use more yarn, right? And Lynn says, one day I will work with Mohair yarn. Yeah, it's interesting, Lynn. I love that. Let me see if I can find it in here. I will actually give you guys a little preview. Wasn't planning on doing that, but since Swati is in the chat and we're talking Mohair, let me give you a preview. And again, this is coming. I am just past the halfway point. If I can. Now keep in mind, this has all, put that there. This has all the knots on the side, it's not knots, but the yarn has not been hidden in. But this is what I'm working towards. Okay, another stole or a wrap, which I think would be delightful in the summertime because you can ball this thing up and stick it in your purse or your backpack or whatever. Take it out. We're in that restaurant. And do you see how the fiber is? It's worked with an oversized hook, and it looks like nothing. It looks like, oh, how is that going to keep you warm? But you put this around your shoulders, even with the holes, it will warm you up. It'll ward off the air conditioning that you run into in the summertime, where you're hot and you go inside and it feels like the North Pole. And if you live in Florida or in South Carolina, you know what I'm talking about. Georgia, places like that where it's hot. They keep the inside on freeze. and I freeze when I go inside, especially if I've been sweating, because that just makes you colder. So this is the Mohair silk. The Mohair is one of the warmest fibers there is. And even though it's full of holes, this will keep you warm. Or it will help. So this is coming. This is coming soon, but I just have to finish it up. So I thought with all these cables, we needed to have something out there that has lace. And again, but when you work with this kind of yarn, you need to be very familiar with the pattern. I recommend that people work a sample swatch. Doesn't have to be the full size, but a sample swatch, just so that you understand how the stitches connect in, so that when you start with the Mohair, you're not starting out by ripping out. I had to restart this project 4 times. I have my samples. I can't rip them out. So I thought I had the numbering right on it, and I didn't. So I had to redo it a few times so that it's perfect when it comes to you guys in those videos. So anyway. Okay, and Okay, from Nodula. She says, what is this gorgeous green piece behind you? Yes, Nodula, this is what I was talking about earlier. This is coming soon. I'm hoping this will be the St. Patrick's Day celebration design. And this is a super scarf or stole. This is the Celtic braided stole. So that'll be coming, just to answer Nodula's question. And thank you so much for being there. Um, so anyway, yeah, Lynn, yeah, one day we'll see what we can do about that mohair. Maybe I'll send you a sample. Okay, I need to remember to do that. I hope I remember. I'll try to send you a sample of this stuff or something. I'll see what I have in my stash. I'm away from home, so I can't really pull from it since I bring a very limited stash with me. But keep reminding me. I will send you a sample so that you can play with this stuff. Anyway, and let's see. Let me see. Oh, Brat's mom is in the chat. I want to say hey, shout out to you. And thank you, Michelle. She says she loves that poncho. And thank you. I'm going to skip over some of the conversation. And Michelle wants to know, would that poncho hold up with a sock weight yarn? You know, it could, but the problem with using a sock weight yarn on that is the gauge, is it's not going to be wide enough. Maybe if you added to the width, that could work fine. You just are going to need a lot more yarn if you do that, because the stitches are going to be smaller if you match your hook to the yarn size. So then essentially that would be kind of a redesign, Michelle, but that is a good thought. Okay, and Swati wants to know if we want a softer yarn, maybe a substitute that works. I would say, Swati, you could also substitute your favorite worsted weight yarn. I could just say that because I will say, I'll say this in the video about the yarn once I release it or once I film it and release it. When you work with softer yarn, the tendencies are, the real soft, floofy kind of yarn can tend to pill. And that's why you don't see a lot of sweaters that have, long, like, sleeve sweaters, because as the arm, rubs against the body of the sweater here, and you'll know this from the garments that you have, from even the cheap acrylics that you buy in the store, like when you buy a cheap sweater off the rack, you'll notice that it pills, and the place that it pills the most is where fabric touches fabric and rubs against itself. And I will say that, the softer and the cushier the yarn, even if it's, expensive yarns, you have to be very careful with those kinds of things. Because they do tend to wear a little bit faster. This yarn, for example, that I use, the Red Heart Super Saver Ombre, and I hear a lot of people fussing about Red Heart yarn. Oh, it's not soft or whatever. Well, of course not. It's not all soft. But I would put this yarn up against some of the softer yarns for baby blankets, and I bet this will be around longer than those super soft yarns. And I've used the soft yarns too. I like them all. Now the yarn that I used in this poncho, for example, I'll get my hook out of that. It is very soft, and it was yarn that I picked up. I was experimenting, and I'm not one of those YouTubers that say you must have this or nothing. I mean, you're not going to hear me say that. I do have my special favorite yarns, but this one is very nice and soft. But I recommend you substitute with your favorite worsted weight yarn. This does tend to be on the softer side, and the jury is still out on how long this is going to last. It does feel amazing right now, and I really enjoyed working with this yarn. But all that to say, all this from Swati's question. But I would just kind of, I'm just kicking the ball back into your court, Swati. I guess I would say any of the yarns, the universal yarn works well. The what do they call that? worsted. Here it is. Is this it? Okay, the paint box. The paint box yarns are fine. Um, even the red heart would probably work. I'm trying to think. The universal worsted weight yarn works really well. Um, and again, that might be just something that it's kind of a personal preference thing. If whatever you're looking for, I guess that wasn't very helpful. But anyway. Okay, and how much yarn do we need to buy for the mohair? I bought let's see, with the mohair, I'm gonna go ahead and bring out one of these. Okay. The mohair yarn that I'm using is this the right one? Hold on a second. I want to give you correct information. Okay, here we go. Okay, this is from Universal Yarns. It's called Rico Design Essentials Super Kid Mohair Silk. This is what I'm using. Feel free to use any mohair silk blend. I personally am not crazy about the mohair polyester blends that I've seen. I've evaluated some of these, and Universal Yarns has some of those too, and I've evaluated those, and I'm not as much a fan because I've used the real thing. I didn't like the polyester. I didn't like the way it felt. I didn't like the way it crocheted up. And again, this is soft, but it's not like as soft as cashmere or pure baby alpaca. It has a different feel to it, but I really love the way it looks. Each of these has 200 meters in it. So this is 70% mohair, 30% silk. So this is on the Universal. I think I have a link for Universal Yarns. It's on their site. I'm using 2 of each color, and there are 3 colors, so I'm using 6 because I'm switching up the colors. I actually may use less than that. So the jury is still out on my yarn usage. I would like to rather answer that question once I'm done, but I know I'm going to need at least 2 of the dark of the color number 1. Yeah, you might need 2 of each, but you may end up with some leftovers. So I'll let you know that for sure. But that no more than 2 of each color, or no more than 400 meters each. Okay. Thank you. Yes, Swati. Uptown worsted. Your brain is working better than mine today. Thank you. Yeah, uptown worsted. I knew worsted was in the name, but I couldn't think of that. To save my soul, I couldn't think of that. Yeah, and the paint box. The Brava. The paint box yarn is called Simply Erin. I think that's the name of it. The Brava is from Knit Picks. I did make a throw with that. It is good yarn, but I would not rank that in my absolute favorite category. I mean, I did. It was good yarn. There was nothing wrong with the Brava, but as far as the knot count, the KNOT count, I wasn't as happy with that, and I did have some pilling even before I crocheted the garment up. So I was a little surprised by that. I think because I was spoiled using the paint box, and the Uptown worsted is very good. I like the color, and I just really like the results from the Uptown worsted as well. But again, I mean, some people are sold on what they can find in their local stores. In the past, this is back when I was making the Aran Afghans 15 years ago, I really enjoyed the 1-pounders from Caron. Again, and none of these name mentionings, let me just say, none of these mentionings of these companies, or rather, none of them is a paid endorsement. I don't work for any yarn company. This is purely my opinion. Nobody pays me to say what I like and don't like. It's just my opinion, okay? But but the Irish design that I showed you, like for example, let me show you this one, like the design that I got here using Yarnspirations yarn. This is my money. I bought this in the store like you did, um, or like you would with your yarn. And the same with the Red Heart stuff. I buy that. That comes out of my pocket. No one's paying me to say one thing or another. And now this is comp yarn. This is yarn that I said I'm interested in trying that. I'm interested in doing something with that. And they were gracious to send me this. So this is yarn that they sent me. So I did not purchase this yarn, just total disclosure. But that doesn't stop me from having the freedom to say what I think of it because no one's paying me to, to be their endorser or any of that. So just, to let you know how that works. And it's getting a little bit late, but let me go ahead. We have, I just want to say hey to some more people here. Anita from, is it Sarnia? Am I saying that right? I'm so sorry. Forgive my ignorance, guys. From Canada. I should have just said Canada. I'm not familiar with that area. I have been to Canada, just not familiar with that area. But so welcome. So glad that you're here, Anita. We have a lot of friends from Canada in the chat. Yes, thank you, Swati. Thank you. Yes, your questions really do help to jar this aging brain of mine. um, and let's see. Got some questions going on there with Stacy about Emily's private sale. That's a good question. And Denise says, when I was in Ireland and went to the cliffs of Moher, a 20-something-year-old had been swept over the cliffs by the wind because she was too close to the edge for a picture. Yeah, Denise, that happens a lot. That happens a lot there. And there are signs everywhere telling people to not do this, don't do that. And of course, people don't listen. That is so sad. And yes, it is very gusty there, very windy. In fact, my husband, it was a nice day, but the wind was so strong around the cliffs of Moher and around that area, that part of Ireland. My husband had to buy a jacket from the gift store. We weren't planning on getting an expensive souvenir there, but he was freezing. So he bought the only jacket that they had in the store. And he's worn that jacket for the last, since 2012. So what? The last 11 years or more. I mean, the color actually has changed. And I've recently bought him a new jacket for Christmas. It's like, here, you need a new jacket. But yeah, very windy, very strong gust, unpredictable wind gust. Yeah, crazy. Oh, thank you, Hannah. I saw that come in, but I was in the mid conversation. Archer Nace, thank you so much. Terry, you have pushed us over the edge to the $100 mark. So next week I will start off. I promise you, it's going to be probably something Irish. Probably something with the whistle. I did bring my my penny whistles to do some good Irish songs of some sort if the occasion presented itself, and it did so. So thank you so much. The $100 that we've collected with the super chat will be going to the Rancho 3M this month. Last month it went to the Shriners Hospital for Children, as well as $100 matching to the Samaritan's Purse organization, helping with disaster relief, and I think we will continue that. So we'll do 100 for Rancho 3M. Thank you, Terry. I'll give you that song next week, and we will match that, especially. They do have a field hospital. We have been supporting the field hospital in Ukraine, but I think this time around I'm going to specify that it go to Turkey. They had a terrible thing going on there. So anyway, I saw the casualty count, and I can't even repeat it. It was so terrible. But anyway, this is not okay. Get a grip, girl. It particularly affects me because my husband and I had the honor, just the delight to be able to visit a city or two in Turkey back in back in the fall on this whirlwind trip, which included trip to Israel, and just an incredible time. So yeah, I've been there, so I can't imagine what those folks are dealing with. So it's just $100 that we could do, but it's something. So I could definitely match that. I have no problem continuing in that. And thank you, Terry, in particular, for just your generosity and kindness towards us. And let's see, we have Letitia Summers. She says, thank you explaining how easily to block a project. I love making Adare Shaw and your Celtic Cafe. Oh, I'm so glad you enjoyed those projects, Latricia. Those are some of my favorites to design. I don't like to get bored in a project, so I like to put lots and lots of stuff out there. Lots and lots of stitches if I can. We have Phil. Hey, Phil. Sorry I'm so late getting to you. So glad that you were in the chat. And yeah, Dawn says that yarn color is the color of Ireland. Yeah, I get smitten with this color this color here, this this green color all the time, Dawn. I go shopping and buy clothes for myself sometimes, and I see it in green, and I bring it home, and I'm like, oh yeah, that looks a lot like that other green shirt that I have. But that's okay, because I'm going to wear them both out anyway. So anyway, thank you again, Hannah. Thank you for that reminder. I would have totally overlooked that, and that would have been terrible. Yeah, and Susie is commenting towards Denise about how sad that is. Yeah, and if you ever go to the Cliffs of Moher, I took pictures of this when I was there in 2012. They have signs, intervention signs for people, because people also go there if they just want to take their life into their own hands. And, as tragic as that can be. But there's there's an outreach there just to intervene for people who are just, wanting to make a very terrible decision. So yeah, it's quite a beautiful, it's kind of I guess a combination. It's one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen. It's also, because of, what happens there, also very tragic. So yeah, but if you ever go there, be careful, follow the rules, and everything will be fine. Jan says, you could stay on for an extra hour. Oh, I would love to, Jan. I love hanging out with you guys. I'm looking at the clock, and I know I need to release Hannah so she can enjoy her time away. I just want to look real quick just to make sure. We have Barb Findlay. I don't believe I've seen you in the chat before. So good to have you in the chat. And Izzy, and Kia Ora from hello from Australia. My first live. It's 5:11 a.m. and I'm up with my well, Kia, so glad you could join us. I'm glad I saw your name coming in there. Well, let me go ahead. I'm gonna have to sign off because I want to release Hannah, but I want to read something. This is again from my favorite 19th century preacher. Okay, thank you, Hannah. She's like, I'm fine. I already had lunch. I haven't. But that's okay. I want to read to you from this. And this book, by the way, is on Amazon. It is a fantastic book, life-giving book. It's a Christian devotional. It's just simple, easy reads. It's called Beside Still Waters, Words of Comfort for the Soul. And this again, C.H. Spurgeon. I'll just you can see the name that way. C.H. Spurgeon. He's just a wonderful preacher, man of God from the 19th century. And I read this morning, and I thought maybe somebody needs to hear this. I always need the reminder, and it's based upon the verse in Isaiah 41:10. And I'll just go ahead and read what Spurgeon has to say, because he does include the verse as we go. And the title is Fear Not. In trouble, the Lord will always be near. If you have a Gethsemane, if you have to drink the bitter cup, the Lord will be with you. His presence will encourage you, and you will be able to say, "Nevertheless, not as I will, but as you will." That's from Matthew 26. And I should have prefaced this. This is Christian encouragement, and this is directed specifically towards people who believe and who are Christians. And if that's not you, that can always change. Okay, so I just want to encourage you in that way. Do you say, "I am sick and depressed. I wish that I had more of life's comforts, but my resources are sadly limited"? Your Savior was tested in all points as you are, but he always set the Lord before him. Thus he was able to say, "O Lord, you are the portion of my inheritance and my cup. You maintain my lot. The lines have fallen to me in pleasant places. Yes, I have a good inheritance." And that's from Psalm 16:5. Let everything go. If God is with you, you will be upheld. Let friends die one after another. Let earthly comforts fade like autumn leaves. If you set the Lord before you, there is fullness of joy in God's every attribute. There is heaven in every glimpse of Jesus' face, overwhelming bliss in every drop of Jehovah's everlasting love. You will not fail. You will not be discouraged. You will even sing his praises in the fiercest fires. And I will say many people have done that throughout history. To you, he says, "Fear not." Here's the Isaiah 41:10 verse. "Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. Yes, I will uphold you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and through the rivers, they shall not overflow you. When you walk through the fire, you shall not be burned, nor shall the flame scorch you." Well, I hope you enjoyed that encouragement. And Susan, thank you so much for that. You've just pushed us up to 110. I'm just going to add that into the donation that's going for next week. So thank you so very much for your generosity, Susan. And Lucille, thank you for your kind comment there. Well, guys, thank you so much. And hola, Joe. So good to see you in our chat. And love to craft. I'm seeing a lot more coming in. So thank you, guys. I hope this encouraged you this week. And I hope to see you next week. And if you need to get in touch with me ever, bonniebay@me.com, and I'll respond when I can during the week. Anyway, God bless. Bye-bye.